interview question for this session. Tell me about a time that you made a big mistake at work. So similar to tell me about a time you failed, we have a separate video on that. Take a look at that one as well. So this one is tell me about a time you made a mistake at work. First tip, don't wimp out and be all like, I've never made any big mistakes at work. You want to pick an example here of when you really did make an actual mistake and what you did, how you fixed it, and what you learned from it. All right, so on the flip side, of course, no red flags, nothing crazy, please. Well, I can give you an example of what would be not a good idea here. So, and it'll entertain you as well for a minute. I think it was when I was at Merrill Lynch. I had to place $1 million of a client's money in a I think it was a money market product or interest rate account or something like that. And I placed $10 million. I added an extra zero when I was putting in the transaction, and I placed, instead of $1 million, I placed $10 million. Luckily, the interest rates moved in the right direction that day, so the client ended up making money and the bank ended up making money. But you can imagine if things had gone the other way, right? So, all right, so that's an example of what not to do. Oh, what kind of example not to use. All right, so with that, like I said, you want to focus on an example of a mistake where you can speak to A, how you fixed it, and B, what you learned from the mistake. So an example that might work is you took on too much responsibility on a particular project. You sort of bit off more than you could chew, and halfway through you realized this wasn't something that you were going to be able to do just on your own, but you still failed to delegate to junior staff. Ultimately, you ended up missing the deadline. So that's the mistake. But then you can go on to say that you did try to fix it to the best extent possible that you could. You got some help, called in some co-workers that are pretty supportive of what you're trying to do with this project, explained the situation to them, and you doubled up, worked over the weekend with them, got it done, and you were able to deliver, ultimately you were able to deliver a better product and go above and beyond what was expected on the deliverable, and hand it in on Monday. So you missed the deadline on Friday, got it in on Monday, and ultimately did a much better job with it. And then go on to talk a little bit about what you learned from this experience. And here you might want to touch on, you realized your own limitations. That even though you could be really enthusiastic about a project and really want to do it all yourself, that ultimately at the end of the day, you do need to delegate pieces that you can to junior staff, and also B, get support and help and input from peers and colleagues. All right, so that's something that could work. But pretty much any mistake that like I said, it feels solid and real to your audience, but at the same time doesn't raise any crazy red flags.